Good morning, and welcome to room, I think the best room, room one of two for our physics graduation celebration for 2019. I'm Marjorie Olmsted. I'm the Associate Chair for Undergraduate Affairs and the Undergraduate Faculty Advisor. Our chair is in the other room, and the reason we're in two rooms is that we are probably setting a record this year to be the largest graduating class in physics in the country in history, is my guess. Because the last year for which we have any data, we were at 145, and this year we're at over 190. And there were only two other schools in the country that were over 100, and that was Illinois at 127 and Berkeley at 115. So unless those guys have grown even faster than we have in the last 2 years, this, to the best of my knowledge, is the largest graduating class ever. And I apologize for some of the growing pains that you guys have had to go through, but it's been really a remarkable experience for me to get to know many of you over the last 3, 4, 5 years. And you guys set yourselves a goal, and you've achieved it. So congratulations to all of you. By the way, if any of you are graduating and you didn't have a chair with your name on it, then go find Margo in the back, and we'll add you on at the end. We have a really remarkable range of graduates coming out of our department this year. They range in age from 2 students who were born back when I was in high school, who have continued on to slug through their degree, raising families at the same time, and now in their late 40s are graduating. We also have a couple students who came in the early entrance program, starting here when they were barely able to vote, or even before then, actually, when they were barely 16, and who are graduating now at age 20. And so we have a large range of people, some who came straight from high school, some who took a circuitous route, some who came straight from community college, and all of you have managed to achieve something which is really special, which is a degree from the University of Washington in physics. So I congratulate you on that. A quarter of our graduates are among the first in their family, the first generation to graduate from college. So good job. We have graduates who grew up within walking distance of UW, a couple who actually went to middle school with my children, and some who came from as far away as Lagos, Nigeria, or Hunan, China. We have students who have pursued research ranging from studying a single atom to studying the galaxy and how the universe began. We have students who have done their capstone project by monitoring the chemistry in a supercritical nuclear reactor to putting heating circuits on artificial limbs so that when someone a veteran puts a cold limb on in the morning, it actually is not a shock to the system. We have students who've been leaders on the human-powered submarine team, and one of our students is the women's national boxing champion. We have double majors in a lot of different things. The most common, yes, are math and astronomy, and those are students who only had to take a few more classes to get that second degree. But we also have in the room students with a double major in Latin, student in the other room with a double major in vocal performance, students with a double major in finance. So students come and they get the true Husky experience, there's thousands of courses they can choose from, and many of them have chosen to make the most of that experience, and I commend them. What our graduates have in common is the ability to now look at the physical world and pose questions about it and figure out how to go about getting those answers. They've learned how to express that in both words and equations, And they've learned how to take and analyze data that will lead them to make informed decisions. They can think analytically, they can think critically. 10 years from now, very few of them are going to remember the details of does that 4 pi go in the numerator or the denominator when you're trying to figure out Maxwell's equations. But they are going to remember how to approach a complex problem, break it down into parts. And when there's a part they don't know how to do, they know how to form a study group and go and find somebody else, one of their friends who has a different background, a different set of expertise, who's going to help them tackle that problem. When I started teaching intro physics, a veteran professor said to me, don't worry about it, because 10 years from now, they're going to remember 3 things. This course was taught by some woman, but I don't remember her name. The book was blue. And then one of your demonstrations, maybe the monkey and the hunter, but probably one that didn't work. But what you are going to remember is that process of figuring out and problem solving. And as you go forth, armed with your physics degree, I would like to encourage you to take those skills and use them to solve some of the complex global challenge problems that we have out there. We're depending on you, and please keep in touch, because we want to know what great things our graduates are doing. We like to brag about you, just like your parents do, we do too. And since UW cuts off your @uw.edu email, it's going to cut it off the 3rd week in October. So please, between then and now, please either switch that email to forward to something that you do actually see, or send us one of those emails that you do actually see, because we would like to keep in touch with you as you go forward. I would also like to take this opportunity to thank the people on this side of the room for lending us your children and your friends and your spouses. We've enjoyed getting to know them, having them pass through here. And they're not the same people that left home a few years ago in terms of many things, but in terms of the important things, they are. They've still been shaped by the environment in which they grew up. And it was that love of knowledge that you helped instill in them that enabled them to succeed here at the university. And so graduates, I'd like you all to thank your parents and your family and friends. I know as a parent, sometimes the best thing that you can do is just to sit back and watch, and that's sometimes the hardest thing to do. So I'd like to congratulate you on having the willpower to do that, and also for stepping in when you were needed. Our students, many of them have had what I would call, when I look at a transcript, I say, that student has an interesting story. And all of them do. In the 28 years I've been here at the University of Washington, I can count on maybe one hand of the however many thousand students I've met, the times when I thought, how'd they get past the admissions office? But I can assure you that all of the students that I have gotten to know here in physics do not fit in that category. They are all students who came here for a reason. Some of them hit some ups and downs along the way, but I fully expect them to move forward and be successful as they go on in their degree. So I thank you for coming. I thank you for being part of our department, for choosing physics. You had 300 and something options to major in here at the university. I know that when we asked on their surveys, 25% of them at least once thought seriously about majoring in engineering, but almost all of them are really glad that they figured out that physics was the right place to be. Because physics is a versatile liberal arts science that prepares you to go out and solve lots of interesting problems. Students have all kinds of things lined up, ranging from graduate school in physics at Caltech to designing video games, and everything in between, but it's all using that technical knowledge, learning how to look at information, figure out what's missing, and then how to go about filling those holes. So thank you all for coming, And now I'm going to get to the main reason that we actually did split into 2 rooms, not just so that we could fit all of you and let everyone invite as many guests as they needed to, but we thought about holding it in one great big ceremony in Kane Hall, or I know chemistry actually gets the Alaska Airlines Stadium down there, heck ed, chemistry plus biochemistry. But what we like to do is to keep this personal. And so each of our students has written a paragraph for me to read as we shake their hand and welcome them into the ranks of educated people, whatever that means. And so what's going to happen is we'll invite you to come up in your rows of 5 or 6 and stand here, and then I will read your paragraph. Allie will make sure your slide is the one that's showing behind me, and then I will give you your certificate, and then if you can just stand back in the line when you're done, and then the 5 of you can go by, pick up your mugs, and then go forward. I should show you the mug. They're really pretty. Okay. There's a picture of a p orbital of what looks like an OH ion or something like that. There's an H bar, and there's a coordinate system, and it says UW Physics Department. So you each get one of those. So I'm now ready to present to you the Bachelor of Science candidates whose last names are in the first half of the alphabet. So if the first 5 of you could come forward. Okay. First up is Brian Amoney. Brian really loved the idea of academia when he came to the University of Washington. However, after a couple of years, he found himself devoid of motivation and burned out. However, despite that energy setback, Brian was able to persevere and graduate, if only by the width of a hair. Brian received the Office of Minority Affairs and Diversity Recognition Scholarship, their High Merit Scholarship, their Golden Key Honor Scholarship, and a Ronald E. McNair Scholarship. So he succeeded quite well. Congratulations, Brian. Okay, just stand back. Okay. Next is Joss Ayers Sims. Joss has found the wealth of physics knowledge distilled over centuries and made accessible to him at UW, both mentally humbling and nourishing. He would like to take this opportunity to offer a moment of profound gratitude for the circumstances that enabled him to pursue his love of natural philosophy and endless curiosity about this whole existence business at a research institution such as UW. Foremost among these are the fortunate circumstances of his birth, not least in having a family that supported him in both the intellectual and financial domains, as well as the instruction of the professors here at UW. Congratulations. You need to smile and look out there so they can get their picture. Stephen Bett. The students were asked if they wanted to submit a slide, it would be shown, and if not, we promised them that we would find a nice picture of campus and use that instead. And so that's what, this is the first one. Stephen's research was focused on the Large Synoptic Survey Telescope, LSST, specifically using simulations to find the efficacy of possible additions to said telescope. He also worked using observational data of galaxies with Professor Jessica Work in astronomy to study the circumgalactic medium. He will be, with any luck, eventually heading to graduate school. While making his way through the physics major, he discovered that aside from astronomy, quantum physics was by far the most enjoyable branch, and he's glad he got the chance to learn about it. He also thanks his parents. Stephen. Brianna Burkle. Brianna held various research positions throughout her undergraduate career, including working with Professor Kaimei Fu on developing quantum computing technology and with Dr. Silent Klemperer at Stanford University on locating brittle failure earthquakes in Saudi Arabia. She was the recipient of the UW Honors Undergraduate Scholar Award. Brianna has been accepted to the geophysics doctoral program at the University of Southern California, where she'll continue her studies under Dr. John Vidale and Dr. Tom Jordan as a provost fellow. She would like to thank her friends and family for their unwavering love and support. Congratulations, Brianna. Conrad Black. Conrad did research with Professor Pollack across the street in the Physiology and Biophysics department on spinning surface charge. He's worked at many different clubs, making a difference on this spinning mud ball. He will be working soon, hopefully. He deeply enjoys physics and the immense yet rewarding efforts of the complex yet easy topics within physics. He would like to thank his friends, family, and future spouse for supporting him during this tumultuous college career. All righty, thank you, and please pick up your mugs, and if you guys could then sit back down and the second row could come on up. Got your picture. Carson Lynn. Carson completed Bachelor's of Science degrees in both mathematics and physics. During his time at the University of Washington, he contributed to the ETWASH group doing data processing and analytics. That's the group which is trying to figure out whether gravity really acts like 1 over r squared at all length scales. Outside of academics, he was part of the Theta Chi fraternity and served as a year-long term president in 2018. Congratulations, Carson. Nicholas Brunnell. Nick studied physics and applied math and conducted research under Professor Kai-Mei Fu, studying the magnetic field sensing properties of the Nitrogen Vacancy Center in Diamond. Nick was awarded a Mary Gates Research Scholarship for this work. Nick has taught ski lessons through Husky Winter Sports and enjoys writing and recording music. He plans to take a gap year to perform with his band, after which he'll pursue a PhD in physics at Simon Fraser University, starting in the fall of 2020. Nick would like to thank his parents for their support and his professors for helping him realize his passion for physics. Alex Chang. Alex truly enjoyed his time working with Professor Schaefer on physics education research, and would like to thank all the people who have helped him grow over the past 4 years. Jason Chapman. Jason spent his 4 undergraduate years as a physics major and Army ROTC cadet. He completed a summer internship at NASA Ames Research Center in the Bay Area, California, and enjoyed studying quantum mechanics. Yesterday, he commissioned as a second lieutenant and will serve on active duty with the 82nd Airborne Division in Fort Bragg, North Carolina. After his 4-year service obligation, he hopes to pursue a PhD in physics and work as a theorist. He would like to thank his mom and dad for encouraging him to succeed, and all the friends, classmates, and professors who defined his incredible UW experience. Congratulations. Han Q. Han Q Choi. Han Q graduated with departmental honors in physics and has worked in Professor David Cobden's nanodevice physics lab outside of class. Han Q has been accepted to physics graduate school program here at the University of Washington. He'd like to thank Professor Cobden and his lab mates for supporting him. Han Q would also like to thank Amy for supporting his every decision. And lastly, he wants to say, congratulations. That's it for this group? Okay. Get your mugs, and if the next row could come on up. Wayne? Okay. Wayne Chow. Wayne completed his degree in December and is now working at Waymo, Google's self-driving car company, as a member of the software quality operations team. Wayne is grateful for the opportunity to apply the skill sets learned in pursuit of this degree at his current position to further explore his passion for cars. Wayne would like to thank his parents for their continued support and encouragement throughout not only his college career, but throughout his life. A special shout goes to Wayne's friends, who were always more than willing to use physics homework as an excuse for late-night International District food runs. Congratulations. Thanks for coming back. Molly. Molly Christian. Molly has done aerospace research at the Applied Physics Laboratory for over a year now. Through research, Molly has contributed to an oceans publication and is currently working on a second one. After graduating, Molly will continue to work at the lab in software development. Molly would like to thank her parents for their unending love and support throughout her experience at university and in all other seasons of life. Devin? Devin Cocroft. Devin would like to thank his family and many mentors for supporting his journey through his undergraduate education. Through their guidance, he's been able to successfully complete degrees in physics, astronomy, and psychology. Though academics has been his main focus, he's also ventured to experience many other facets of life, two of the most notable experiences being boxing and dancing. He's looking forward to continuing his education next year at the University of Toronto. Where she is Jayla. Jayla Deisler. Awash with a swallowing tide of extreme uncertainty, this class of 2019 will soon be pushed from its academic plane of reality into adulthood with diploma in hand. Jayla will discover her ultimate destiny and will find a way to make herself useful along with becoming financially self-sufficient. She may even reimburse her parents. Thank you to Trudy, Jeff, Betty, Dan, and Christine for sticking around while she figures out exactly how one does all that. Congratulations. Anna. Anna Duarte. Anna came to UW at age 16 as an early entrance student. During her 4 years, she was awarded the National Science Foundation Graduate Research Fellowship Program Award, the Mary Gates Research Scholarship, the University of Washington Undergraduate Research Conference Travel Award, and the Massachusetts Institute of Technology Summer Research Alumni Conference Scholarship, and various poster awards, too many to list. She's really a remarkable student. Anna was a TA for several physics classes and conducted research in the Keller Research Group, the Gore Lab, SENPA, and the Rubel Lab. She's graduating with honors and will be earning her physics PhD soon at Caltech. Anna is thankful for her parents' love and support, her professors' guidance, and her friends who made midnight studying fun. Thank you. All right, thanks. Get your mugs. And the next row. Alrighty. Maxwell. Maxwell Euronymous. In his freshman year, Maxwell volunteered as an assistant teacher at Olympic Elementary School. As a sophomore, he began doing research on luminescent solar collectors at the Washington Clean Energy Institute. In his free time, Maxwell was a member of the UW Kanagawa Aikido Club, and in his junior year, he was elected its president. He would like to let his friends and family know that none of what he has accomplished would have been possible without their support. He would like to thank his mother Linda and his father Randy for the immeasurable amount of love and guidance they have given him over the past 4 years. Kate? I picked Danny for you. Katherine Evans. Katherine spent the second half of her time as an undergraduate student working at CENPA, the Center for Experimental Nuclear and Particle Astrophysics. She was a founding officer in the Women in Physics UW chapter and an officer of the UW Institute for Nuclear Materials Management. She's also earning a degree in Latin and has consistently received the Jim Greenfield Undergraduate Scholarship from that department. Next year, she'll be attending the College of William and Mary to pursue a PhD in experimental nuclear physics. Katherine would like to thank her parents for their support and her professors and Margo for guiding her in how to navigate a degree in physics. Sean Fell. Sean has been part of the Axion research team under Dr. Leslie Rosenberg since his sophomore year and is currently developing a new analysis program with Dr. Eric Lentz for the Axion dark matter experiment. Sean has been accepted into the physics graduate program at ETH Zurich, where he plans to study theoretical astrophysics. Sean would like to thank Dr. Leslie Rosenberg for allowing him to join ADMX, Dr. Eric Lentz for helping him become a better physicist, Margo for all her help, and his parents for their constant support. Smile at your parents. Alexander Filbert. Alex enjoyed the Physics 224, 5, and 6 series, which is the introduction to thermal physics, quantum mechanics, and particle physics, the most out of all his classes, because these are the classes where he discovered his love for physics. He would like to give a special thanks to Professor Nikolai Tolich for making his physics introductory courses so interesting and helping Alex find his passion for physics. He would like to thank his parents for all their encouragement and advice, as well as his friends for always being there through the good and bad times. He will be going to work in the tech industry after graduation and hopes to find an experience as good as the one he found here. Congratulations. Okay. Jacob Fried. Jacob did independent study with Igor Novoseliv on supercritical water. He also participated in research in the astronautical icing and aerodynamics research group. Jacob plans on working for the next 2 to 3 years as a mechanical engineer before pursuing a master's in mechanical engineering. Jacob would like to thank his parents and Margo for always looking out for him and for all their help in preparing him for the next chapter in his life. Congratulations, Jacob. Just waiting for parents. Oh, that's the end of this group, okay? So let's switch. Thank you. Yu-Ho? Did I pronounce that correctly? Yu finished his Bachelor of Science in Physics and Astronomy, and was on the annual Dean's List his senior year. He would like to thank Professor Morales for giving him a chance to work in his group and his parents who have encouraged and supported him. Congratulations. Brandon? Brandon Iratani. Brandon does research with Professor Jens Gundlach on short-range tests of gravity. He received a NASA space grant one summer, and he has presented at the Mary Gates Undergraduate Research Symposium for the last 2 years. Brandon plans to study atomic physics for his PhD. He would like to thank his family for their constant support and Professor Marjorie Olmsted and Catherine Provost for their continued help in planning for graduate school. Congratulations, Brandon. Dylan Jeffrey. Dylan would like to thank his parents, his grandparents, as well as his professors, with special thanks to Professor Pengra, Margo, and Professor Olmsted. Abhijay Khatri. Abhijay did independent study with Nuhar Arora on improving the efficiency of solar cells. He was an undergraduate researcher in the Noise Lab, where he was able to write a scientific journal article on 2D materials. He was actively engaged in the University of Washington Design, Build, and Fly student organization. Abhijay would like to thank his parents for always being there for him, and his professors, especially Professors Arka Majumdar and Jason Detweiler, for leading him into the next chapter of his life and all of their help. Vanessa Cave. As a proud member of the Society for Advanced Rocket Propulsion, Vanessa helped design, manufacture, and test rocket propulsion systems capable of climbing 30,000 feet in altitude, and it will be showcased in the international competition later next week. As secretary of the Society of Women Engineers organization, Vanessa has further developed her leadership skills. She's actively pursuing a career in the aeronautical industry as a stress analyst. Vanessa would like to thank her family and friends, especially her parents, her sister, and boyfriend for their continuous support as she steps foot into the next chapter of her life. Congratulations, Vanessa. All right, get your mugs in the next row. Is Andrew here? Okay. We're going to skip Andrew Kim. What? I got it here, I think. You have a new one. Okay. Okay. Matar Vikas Kini. Vikas is an applied physics graduate whose passions extend beyond physics to aviation and computing. In his sophomore year, he analyzed and computer modeled novel composite materials in the aerospace department. He's now conducting research in data management for the Large Synoptic Survey Telescope, LSST, in the astronomy department, and he hopes to start a career in scientific computing. We'd like to thank his professors, advisors, and most of all his parents for an amazing college experience. Jared? Yes. Jared Koopman. Jared performed undergraduate research at the Applied Physics Laboratory under Dr. Monica Orellana, where he will continue upon graduation. Jared would like to thank his parents for their support and encouragement during his academic career. Congratulations. Kavik. Kavik Kumar. Kavik worked with Dr. Krishna Venkateswara in the LIGO collaboration, assisting with the design of a gravity field calibrator. He's been accepted into the physics graduate program at the University of Maryland, where he hopes to continue his study in gravitational physics. Also didn't mention he has a double degree in aeronautical and aerospace engineering. Kavik would like to thank his instructors, advisors, mentors, friends, and family for all their support over the past 4 years. Look at your parents and smile. Stephen Cusardi. Stephen enjoyed studying and learning about physics, especially about optics and quantum mechanics. He's planning to work for a few years before returning to his studies to acquire a master's degree. Stephen wants to thank his family and friends for their support and encouragement in his studies. He's especially grateful to his mother and father, who have unconditionally supported him in his choices, both in his studies and in his life, and provided every opportunity they could to help him achieve his goals. Get your mugs. And next row. Chung. Next. Okay. Chung Lam. Chung was born and raised in Hong Kong, and during his academic life in UW, he finds himself especially interested in cosmology and quantum information theory. He did independent study with Professor Xu and Professor Detweiler. Chung plans to pursue a PhD in physics in the near future and is excited for his next life adventure. Chung would like to thank his family and his girlfriend Carol for always supporting him, and his professors for all the help they gave. Alyssa Marie Lee. After transferring to the University of Washington, Alyssa spent a year conducting research at the Axion dark matter experiment under the mentorship of Dr. Gray Ribka and Dr. Ben LaRoque. She performed software development for the ADMX experimental controls and completed a data analysis project entitled Noise Analysis of the Josephson Parametric Amplifier for Axion dark matter research. She was awarded first place for her project at the 2019 Conference for Undergraduate Women in Physics, held here in January. This summer, Alyssa will be conducting quantum computing research during her internship with the Quantum Architectures and Computation Group at Microsoft. Congratulations. Sui Zhao Li. Sui Zhao has explored in multiple fields and overcome many challenges in her college life. She was an undergraduate researcher at a disaster data science lab, developing solutions for image recognition. She attained 3 internship experiences across the industries of technology, medical, and consumer goods. Sui Zhao is planning to work in a fintech company in Seattle after her graduation. Sui Zhao would like to thank her parents for their support and trust. She would like to thank all of the professors for their patience and Margo for her kind advice and help. Is Gao Hong's not here? Okay. I said you didn't look like Gao Hong. Okay. Bochen Lu. Bochen enjoyed advanced lab classes and seeing physics in action. For current problems in physics, he wrote papers on progress in nuclear fusion and on computational neuroscience. Bochen is a proud founder of the Theta Tau Professional Coeducational Engineering Fraternity at the University of Washington chapter. He plans to begin research in marketing or marketing for the tech industry after graduation and will apply for graduate school the following year. Bochen would like to thank his professors for inspiration and his friends for the memories. He would especially like to thank his parents for their unconditional support. Thank you. Get your mugs. Winter's missing. Alex? Alex Martin. Alex planned to become an engineer, but when he began to study physics, he committed to it immediately. Throughout his studies, he participated in hundreds of hours of community service with the Alpha Phi Omega National Service Fraternity. He conducted research on machine learning with Professor Shicha Chu. He took extra mathematics courses and plans to continue with a post-baccalaureate mathematics study. Alex would like to thank his family for their support and generosity, Alonda Stallings and Astrid Smith for their unwavering emotional support, and the UW chapter of Alpha Phi Omega for the many service opportunities. Congratulations.
Right on, homeboy. Right on. Way to go.
Daniel Matthew. Daniel graduated in winter. Thanks for coming back. Daniel has had various research and internship experiences while at UW to help him get career ready, and he's currently working as an engineer at Boeing. Daniel will be looking to supplement his physics degree with a master's in mechanical engineering. He would like to thank his family and friends for believing in his journey and pushing him to be the very best version of himself. He would also like to thank all of his professors and his advisor, Margo, for all their help in making today possible. Winter is not here. And Zach. Zachary Moore. Zachary Moore did a study abroad opportunity at the Tokyo Institute of Technology for a year, where he did research on stress dampening and functionally graded materials. He's currently working on data analysis research in the University of Washington Materials and Science and Engineering Department underneath the guidance of Professor Fumio Ohuchi. He'll be continuing that research as an MSc graduate student for the next year or two. Zach would like to thank his mother, Michelle, for all the hard work she did in raising him, and his uncle, Stephen, for being an amazing role model for how he should grow up. Okay, get your mugs. So thank you. I would like at this point to give the undergraduates a chance to thank Margo. For those of you who don't know, Margo Nims has been the undergraduate counselor in this department for 35 years. She just celebrated her. She has an amazing patience and rapport with our students that they appreciate. I appreciate. I'm her boss, but she teaches me everything. And And so I just wanted to give people that opportunity. So I'd like to thank you all now for coming and to congratulate all of our students. You have been given a great opportunity and you have taken advantage of it. Many of you have heard me say that you're not here for a degree, you're here for an education, but it is really nice to get that piece of paper that proves to the rest of the world that you've gotten an education. And I would like to congratulate you on that. No one's ever going to look at your GPA again. All they're going to care about is that you actually have a degree from the University of Washington. So those of you who are finishing up this summer, make sure you get there. But congratulations and thank you. So now it's time for music. Go to the music. No, the music. No, go back. So at this point, once Ellie can figure out the recessional music, and then, but I would like to thank you as you go forward, thank the parents, and invite you all. There's a reception which is set up outside. If you are planning to participate in the main ceremony down at Husky Stadium, you're due there in an hour and 45 minutes. So you can easily spend an hour here interacting with each other, taking pictures, enjoying us, getting some food, and then head on down to Husky Stadium a little after noon, and you'll be there plenty of time to line up at 12:30. So,
It's there? Oh.
you're not marching?
Huh? I'm still.
That's right. Next year. Oh, it's on Panopto, so you can go watch it. Yes. Yes. Yeah, you should have gotten an email with the link last week. Oh. I had Margo call her, and they worked on it together.